Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3, where today we are opening with a pretty big battle with some pretty big stakes. I'm actually really worried about this. I think that what's going to end up happening here, if we lose, is that the Khemri will take Al-Haik, the armies of Hexawatl will go completely unchallenged on the coast, and they will just take all of our stuff along the west and north coasts of the continent. And then we're going to face just like non-stop bullshit from them targeting our capital. And if we happen to lose a battle at the wrong moment there, it's probably approximately game over. If we can hold here, refuse to let the Khemri take this, we might be able to prevent Hexawatl from getting a foothold on this continent, and then we might be able to maintain the economic structure necessary to actually keep repelling both of them. But this is just a moment of particular pressure kind of in the middle of that campaign. So, do we have a sense of the terrain? Okay, that's not super helpful. That's a box. Their reinforcements are arriving 2:22 into the battle. Ours are arriving at a mystery time. They're not going to start on the field, are they? I don't think so. If we were fighting in the settlement, all 40 of the units would be on the field at the same time. But what I was hoping with the way I set up was that our reinforcements should be coming in from like over here. Okay, and their reinforcements are coming in from our flank as well. That's a little awkward. So I don't know if they're smart enough. Oh boy. Positioning wise, I'm really curious what they're going to do. If we can set up here. This army doesn't have a catapult. It's the backup army that has a catapult. So if we can get a reasonable okay, 2 minutes versus 2:22. This information really should be on the previous screen, because it is definitely critical decision making information. If we can do enough damage here, gosh, I'm really nervous because I have no idea how they're going to set up. And it's going to matter a ton, right? Just an absolute fucking ton. The magic thing is here because the leader of our secondary army is actually a wizard. So there will be spells if we manage to survive that long. Why is it just turning green for like split seconds here and there? Just fucking let me deploy my units. Stop being difficult. I don't think we want to like Vanguard deploy and close up on them at all. Notice our deck droppers are allowed to Vanguard deploy as well because of the fog effect. All right, we got to keep some units to the sides to avoid the cavalry rush, or at least to be able to like defend against the cavalry rush. And then Charlie can be over here, Aranessa can be over there. Oh right, the deck gunners. You know what? I'm gonna put the deck gunners here. We'll just fix positioning a little bit at the beginning of the battle, and I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with y'all. Stay back here because we know they have some archers, and it doesn't take very many skeleton archers to put away this unit. But these will be really useful if the enemy gets over aggressive with their chariots. Okay, so they chose to do the same thing that we're doing, basically. I kind of hate that. I kind of hate that they have the wherewithal to do such a thing. All right, well, the siege unit's got to move up then. And we want to take this opportunity to fully reposition. Something like this with you guys here we just have our range advantage and we need to ride it. So if he's going to be there, I need to reposition these units just slightly so as not to cut off his angles. And Aranessa can... I don't know. Be over here, I guess? I don't really know what I'm going to do with her. Alright. Rearrange as quickly as you possibly can. It doesn't look like... Here's a question. Do I want to use cannon fire on them? Well, actually, while they're rearranging here, they're really putting themselves together quite densely. I want to make sure I'm hitting as many units of Tomb Guard as possible. Probably especially the halberds, because like Aranessa can just wander into a lot of their army if their halberds are dead. Let's try something like this. Pretty solid. Okay, this is a decent volley. We got some damage in there. So their lord is riding a Kemrian War Sphinx. Pretty scary, but honestly, probably not even as bad as the one Sphinx that we already took down. Looks to me like we want to roll the queen just a little bit further forward during reset time here. Alright, accuracy and reload skill up. Let's get those shots off. Yeah, just fire into the Tomb Guard as best you can, I suppose. That's not great work, but... Now, they attacked us. It's worth remembering. And the reason that's important is that they have to win the battle. If it goes to time, which I believe is 60 minutes by default, then the battle, if the timer runs out, the battle ends in victory for the defender, because the attackers objectively did not attack well. Alright, Bess, I'm going to need you to step it up a little bit. Okay, so what do we got here? We got a bunch more guns for the gun line. Or for some kind of alternate move? I'm just going to make guns for the gun line. And then we have all of these normal deckhands that we can have just run through the guns at the moment of it's time to fight everybody, I guess. And a question, do I want to spend the next volley? Well, these things are about to come. You know what? I want to spend the next volley fucking up their reinforcements, I think. Oh, hold on. That's important. Gotta make sure the mortar gets into mortaring position relatively quickly. What else is back here? Oh, yes. Alright. So we've got a spellcaster now. And it's worth noting, 60 melee attack, 40 melee defense. Not a lot of armor, not a ton of health, but actually pretty good damage output for a melee combatant. And, of course, vampire stuff causes fear, whatever. So, in addition to that stuff, we have a couple of spells here. The Invocation of Nahek is a quite short cooldown, quite low-cost spell that heals a unit and will resurrect dead members of the unit if everything gets back to full health. The Van Hell's Dance Macabre is a considerable speed and melee attack boost for one unit, again with a very low cost and very short cooldown. So we can do a lot of spell casting here. I'm going to try to position you kind of middly. And then you need to re-ammo the Queen Bess already, because it takes no time at all for us to run out of ammo. Alright, I was hoping they'd come in a little bit more balled up. Well, in any case, we can bombard their siege weapon when it becomes available. The hell is it? Is this not all of their stuff? Okay, there it is. It came in much, much later than all of their other units. All right, let's try to actually hit the crew this time, because it seems like destroying a real catapult is maybe off the table. Did I lead too much? Maybe a little. That's better. And then this one fires basically instantly. Yeah, it's a little something. What is going on with the Queen Bess? Why is the accuracy so bad all of a sudden? Alright, we're getting some play out of the normal mortars as the enemies move up a bit. Improve the accuracy and reload speed of all of our artillery. Wow, good shot. Good shot. Not really at the sort of thing that matters. Let me try maybe giving you some targets. I guess, yeah, like Tomb Guard, halberds. Please don't chase. Those are spears. That's normal Tomb Guard. Please don't chase. And y'all are not in position yet. Not even kind of in position yet. That's a shame. All right, where is the distance for the deck gunners? The enemies are not too far out, actually. Oh, and I should probably target the Queen Bess manually as well. Like here. So they are going to try to chariot push us on that far side, on both sides simultaneously, it seems. Not a huge shock. Oh, there are bats on both sides. I didn't realize we had... Yeah, there were bats in the garrison. Okay. That's interesting. So they have one ranged chariot on that side, one ranged chariot on this side. The ogres are probably going to do a much better job of holding up against charges because of their increased mass. So I'm going to see if we can get all of the bats over here and just go in hard on those archer chariots as fast as possible. And let's just re-ammo the Queen Bess one more time before things start to get live. Alright, so that's going to start shooting. Okay, these things both have an opening on those chariots. Let's punish their crew. Are they still moving, or do they... Okay, they are still moving. Start to lead a little bit. That time it wasn't enough of a lead. Okay, got her. All right, it's adding up. Okay, let's do the thing. So, all 4 units of bats in on this enemy. Okay, those guys are going. We're going to... oh, they brought their Necropolis Knights over on this side. So these are not chariot units. These are guys riding on the back of huge obsidian and gold snake statues. that have been brought to life with horrible magics. And then they got some Nahakaran horsemen. That is a skeletal cavalryman riding a skeletal horse. And back here, we got some skeleton chariot archers. We are going to want to wheel a small portion of the gunnery line around on this. If y'all could just form up right quick. Don't want to disrupt things too much. And we're probably going to want some of the same to happen over here. Y'all open up on that. Actually, we probably don't need... Let's see if I can avoid having everybody else turn. So they got their Ushabti over here, which I am, of course, concerned about. Ushabti do have a lot of health. Takes a while to shoot through them. Where's the great bow unit? Okay, so here's the Chosen of Ushabti great bow at 255 range. We have superior range with our deck gunners, and I think this has got to be the deck gunners' main focus. Also, guard mode, do not chase. But for real, kill them. The skeleton chariots are busted up badly enough at this point that if they get within range of the normal guns, they'll just be immediately shredded, I think. It's a little bit of a shame that it's... Let me try to move a couple of these deckhand mobs over here. And actually, y'all reposition like this for a moment. Let's try to prevent a cavalry charge on the Queen Bess. Okay, it looks like they're not going for that. Never mind. So, yeah, like I said, in range of the normal gunnery units, and they're just immediately getting pasted. You guys don't seem to be firing. Perhaps you could shoot your guns at the enemy. Alright, hidden foes. So, sepulchral stalkers. These are the other snake units I was talking about. These ones are not being ridden by guys. They are snakes that are guys. They have throwing spears, which is annoying. But mostly what they're going to do is just like wither under a hail of gunfire, probably. It is perfectly reasonable for them to go into melee mode, run up on our units, and really let us have it. I don't think they're going to. The AI usually likes to play these units as more of a as a skirmisher, even when it would be beneficial to use them as proper melee, or as proper melee. And so they'll probably just stand back and throw spears at us for the most part. What I want from this bit of the crew, and you too, friend, is a little bit of focus on that fucking War Sphinx. Both of the War Sphinxes are coming in at the same time, and we have to kill them both. We have to break them both down. All right, so we have the... Y'all can probably stop rolling forward. You're good. Just shoot at some Tomb Guard or whatever. Yeah, those ones. Okay, if we can win this engagement, we can wheel this group around and hit stuff from the side. That would be awfully nice. And while you're running over there to provide backup to the combat, why don't you cast your first healing spell? Because we have lost some hands over here. These things didn't quite crumble, and so they get off their first charge, which is really annoying. So let's maybe give some specific orders. Y'all on there, y'all and you guys there. Terrible stats, but pole arms do give a significant bonus versus large. As always, gotta make sure we're taking full advantage. These things are probably dead, so we can actually probably just have Robin run out into combat. These Ushabti are going to get all up in my stuff here. My units have been a little bit slow to respond to the direct orders they were given, which is kind of annoying. And let's throw a quick attack boost on these things. We want to put that thing down as fast as we possibly can. All right, let's see some gunnery mobs in here. Just try to tie the chariots up. It looks like this thing is falling apart. Once it's down, it gives us some interesting options. If you're close enough to fire, you're close enough to get Queen Best. And I think I'm going to pull the deck gunners off of the line. Try to set them up back here, shooting at whatever is tall enough to hit over the rest of the troops. Alright, gunfire's doing good work. Yep, the Ushabti engaging from the flank there have also opened themselves up to a great deal of suffering. Okay, y'all turn around, because that's... Please face approximately this way. It would make my life a lot easier if you were facing that way. Alright. Where's Aranessa? Aranessa, yeah, broke this front already. So, I wonder, is it going to be better to have her tag the Scorpion or run over? Like, I feel like King Balfra should be under control already. And remember, as mercenary as this is going to sound, we do not care about the well-being of any of the garrison troops in the long term. It is perfectly fine if they all die terribly. Garrisons regenerate quickly, and we don't have to pay for them. Here, I can't help but notice that the crews are actually pretty far from the guns for the most part. But we got to hit the ones that are working on the catapults. As soon as we break that, things are going to get a lot easier for us. Yeah, we gotta break these initial side thrusts here. So does Aranessa pressure that way, or does she go center and try to break up some of the monsters? You guys stay on this. Kill the Ushabti. Y'all go after Neferkara. Charlie probably shouldn't be in melee. These are Sartosan militia units. They don't need to back up. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have to, like, reposition the gun lines a little bit. I wish I could give my units little target lists. Like, I want this thing to get finished off, and they're crumbling, so they will die themselves over time. I think we got to move Aranessa to the middle. In fact, maybe behind everybody. Pop that speed potion and let's go. Alright, Aranessa is going to try to lock this thing down. We're going to fire another volley of cannon stuff at their siege weapons. It's wild how difficult it is to drive the enemy off of their guns. Okay, that's still happening. Keep at it, friends. I do wish we had some damage spells. Okay. Actually, they're probably about to break. We probably do not have to use this last grape shot on them. So I guess we just send it through... Yeah, some units we don't actually want to face up close. Aranessa is on this Tomb King. Fucking tear him to pieces. Let's get a move on.
Above deck! Yes, Captain!
So she is ripping him up pretty fast, huh? He is in full retreat. Oh my god. The rest of their ranged have caught up because of how long it took the gunners to finish this job. That's fucking terrible. This should not have been a difficult thing. Alright, flank gunners are getting good action over here. Probably want to keep moving them, like keep advancing them along the side. The ogres are doing such a good job of holding these enemies down. Alright, you three should probably turn back this way. This is a unit of skeleton spearmen, and I am not concerned about them. In fact, my plan is to abandon them relatively quickly. Like, we're going to stop paying attention to them entirely and let them just chase us around the battlefield after a certain point. Alright. Shoot these Necropolis Knights in the backside. We have a unit of Sartosan militia that are just like... Oh my god, did this whole side crumble? How are you guys so bad at fighting? Okay, well that's actually really bad news. If all of the deckhands over here are dead already and everything, yeah, that's really bad news, actually. All right, you guys have to reposition, like, very seriously. In fact, all these siege weapons are just dead. That sucks. Okay, crackle bombs... Yeah, it's too much for me to pay attention to all at once.
All ranks, fire!
Alright, a couple of decent grenades out, and then we're bailing as well. That really, those grenades did almost no damage. Okay, so we gotta swing this around. The battle is now happening on this side. All right. So the Tomb Guard halberds. We didn't quite finish off those stalkers before the archers showed up. Ugh, and we can't outrun anything here. You're almost done killing one of the two fucking sphinxes. What happened to Aranessa's damage output? She was doing so well. And then she just stopped doing well. Alright, Scorpion down. The other War Sphinx is running over to her, which is great news, because it's great news for us. Terrible play. Just horrible decision making. And that's exactly what we need to see from our enemies at this point. I mean, I need you to get, like, all the way over here, if I'm being honest. Way, way back. Way, way back. This is another militia unit that probably has no utility. Okay, so what we can do is bring the bats over to here. They don't have their archers all that close. We can use the bats if we're careful with them to sort of, like, pepper enemies. It's really important that we don't lose these bats, though, at this point. Ugh, I hate... This really did not work out well. We're gonna have a tricky time recovering from this one. Cowards!
Quick march!
Yeah, cool. Rally now. That's what I need.
All ranks, fire!
Alright, the stalkers are almost down.
Man-eater pistols! Bring us me!
I need my man-eater pistols to be free, which means these fucking skeletons have to get out of the way. Alright, here we go.
The more calls! Man-eater pistols!
So some flank fires got them under control. I need to do some, like, charges and stuff here. I think running through the backfield of the enemy and just chopping up some of their archers, especially, like, if we can clear... if we start... They're spaced really frustratingly. Like, well. They're spaced well, and that makes my life difficult. No, you probably have to save these guys. And then these units... We can roll forward a bit and start doing some more gunfighting with. Most of my units, sadly, cannot fire while moving, which is actually a real bummer. It does make things a little bit more complicated. Okay, so the bats need to rain down fire on... I mean, it would be good if we could clear some chariots. We can probably set these things to crumbling really easily, but let's stay on the chariots, because if we move forward here, we're going to get arched. You could probably just, at this point, probably just turn around and shoot the chariots. So this is just Ushabti and chariots, and never mind, y'all need to work on this bit right here. And you also, the Ushabti probably are a higher priority for you. And actually, that means maybe these two units need to turn around instead of the thing I was going to have them do. Stay focused on the Lord.
Gunnery wide. Finger on the trigger.
Alright, buffs for y'all, grenades for these guys.
Take them out.
That did something. Alright, we're gonna have to give up this move. So they had a unit of Ushabti. They do get to summon free Ushabti a couple of times during the battle. Or maybe it's just once during the battle. But anyway, I think that's what they've done here to break up the momentum of these ogres. This is a battle we are now winning considerably, but, you know, things are going to get ugly. Let's definitely turn on Manon's luck and then, like, just nets up to slow down something nearby that we care about. This unit, I guess. I don't know that any of it really matters. Oof. And all their stuff is so difficult to push into actually crumbling. Okay, so that's a crumble. That said, we're probably never going to get away. Yeah, the bats are definitely dead. Yeah, no, this is an unmitigated disaster, actually. Well, at least we performed as well as the game suspected we might. That was a valiant defeat. Yeah. In the end, it was just the mass of them. It was just too fucking many bodies. You know, their specialty troops, their chariots, and their snakes and whatever mostly went down. But it's just how are we going to kill this number of actually very elite? Tomb Guard they're not very elite. They're like, you could probably like roughly separate infantry in this game into like 3 to 4 tiers. And the Tomb Guard are not the highest tier, but they're not the lowest either. Actually, maybe they are the highest. Their base stats are pretty good. They're whatever. They're good. The point is, they're good and they're hard to keep back, and we just don't have the melee for a prolonged infantry engagement like that. Well, let's see what happens from there. I do not think that this is very good. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we're going to lose the continent now. Obviously, nothing here is irreplaceable. This is all stuff that we have the tech to rehire.
I'll have my revenge.
The raised Deadpool's gotten even better somehow. That doesn't lead to them taking Al Haik right away. I'll say that for it. Yeah, I want to run this composition where we're just like waves of bullets, but we're just gonna need more melee. We're gonna need more things that stop the enemy in place. It is too hard to keep them back. All right, when we rebuild that army, we will rebuild it in a better way. Part of the value of the time that we have gotten here, though, is that now we have access to the better melee units, at least. With our higher level main settlement structures and stuff, like we can actually. Interesting. Lord Mazdamundi either didn't move or even got further away. Verenigor doesn't seem to have done anything either. Oh, they stole Aranes's Trickster's Helm. Okay.
Find treasure.
That's pretty fucking bad, y'all. Let's, figure out what to do about it. So Al Haik's garrison is actually in better shape than you might think.
This is forbidden.
These things are bleeding for a reasonable chunk from the mist and everything.
Admiral of the fleet.
And I think Pete cannot afford to waste time here. I think the most critical move for Pete Wakefield right now is clear the Wizard Caliph's palace. But we do want to be cautious about making sure we stay on our side of the... Well, no we don't. What does it take to take on replenishment stance? Like nothing?
Don't linger.
We need to make sure that we're replenishing. But actually, this army, I forgot,
I smell blood.
can enable... We can encamp basically anywhere at no movement cost. So we'll just do this. Next turn, we'll take this down. Knocking this player out of the game is the most important thing in the world. Everything else, we can figure out later. Gosh, what do we want to do with this other slot? And Pete down here doesn't have access to the good recruitment buildings, so I guess it being a recruitment building would make a lot of sense. Yeah, just standard pistol trove building will work, I suppose.
Plunder.
Do not betray your king.
So they should be able to get just about anywhere. It's hard to imagine they don't turn around and take Al Haik, right? Yeah. Even if we could upgrade that, doing it again would probably not actually help. We can just have Arnessa run south to Vulture Mountain really, really fast and completely surrender the north.
This is drying me out.
Well, I guess, okay, we have Raised Dead, right? Raised Dead is an advantage that not a lot of factions can claim. So we could raise Dead and then run. It's a little weird that we don't have access to the good Raised Dead pool here. Where does it think I am?
I hate the heat.
This is Kofir. Where's the line between Kofir and Alhaik? All right, we want to be standing on that side of the line. Ridiculously enough, that does change which Raised Dead pool we have access to. So let's grab... I can get 2 units of deck gunners back.
Temperatures rising.
You know, maybe things are going to be kind of okay, actually, because of the fact that we get to raise Dead an army. They don't have their siege stuff. They don't have most of their proper ranged. We can pull in some depth guard. What do they have left?
I forbid this.
Some Ushabti.
Fails me.
Lot of Tomb Guard.
Fear the pirate queen.
What do Depth Guard have for melee stats? 50, 36. And the ones with the swords have 5 bonus versus infantry. So that's going to be a lot of trading blows with the Tomb Guards. But we have Frenzy and also the Hunger. So trading blows is kind of fine. You got to watch the money here, but 7 more units to fill the army. We could do like... We don't want 5 units of guns, probably. That's too many guns. We could do a few units of guns. And then we got 4 slots left. We would have to fill them with like garbage. And honestly, bloated corpses are not cheap enough for how bad they are. Yeah, I wish I had just a little bit more money on hand. But Aranessa herself is in remarkably good health.
This is drying me out.
I could just hire like 4 deckhand mobs just to buy time, but they're not going to do a very good job of it. It could be sirens and a couple of deckhand mobs, but it couldn't be... I wouldn't be able to get to 20 units if I did that. How many units of archers do they have left? That's enough.
My faith in you wanes.
Oh wait, she has... Oh my gosh, what am I thinking? She has lightning strike.
No mermaid.
Yeah, we're absolutely going to counter murder these enemies, and in fact, I can hire real units here because we're about to make some money. Thing is, I just don't know if I want depth guard with pole arms. Some sirens might be okay. Maybe some hulks for the monster to fill that monster melee role. Or maybe like, you know what, give me a Mourngul. Unit of Mournguls are pretty good. And I totally spaced on the fact that we have lightning strike.
I'll have them.
Thanks to the magic of Raised Dead, we get to fight a tremendously uneven battle now. Here, y'all do some fire damage. Do some bonus damage. We get low casualties on this auto-resolve, but like we're going to want to take on another fight immediately afterward. So let's do this one manually and just try to weasel out every little kill we can get here. I am really shocked that they did not immediately turn and attack Alhaik, but maybe they figured since the battle ended with enough of our units still on the table, or like enough of our units in good enough shape, maybe they didn't feel with their weakened armies that they had it anymore through the walls and everything. because we haven't done any settlement battles yet, but it does the defenses from the walled settlement actually are very significant in combat. Okay, so this time we have the range advantage in a way that they can't do anything at all about. I don't really want them coming at me through those trees, if we can avoid it. So I think what I'm going to do here is, I mean, basically we're going to set up over here. We're going to move the mortars forward. Unless they're marching on us. They kind of are? It's hard to tell. I don't know, I guess we can stay put if they're just gonna... They're moving, but they're moving kind of slowly. I'm gonna reposition. I think we can probably do this. Set up gun line in front. With these things, like, I don't know, here, and hereabouts. The Mourngulls I'm going to separate out a little. So the Mourngulls, notice they have the hidden marker here. The Mourngulls have stalk, and they will be invisible to the enemy until the enemy is quite close to us. So let's just have them post up alone on the other side of the gun line and see if the enemy falls for that. All right, I want to slow down the approach. Keep them in optimal mortar range just as long as possible here. So they got assigned a brand new level 1 Tomb Lord. Now these Mourngulls are most effective against infantry, but they hit pretty hard and they have mostly armor-piercing damage, and I will absolutely use them to like jump on the backside of some Ushabti or whatever, you know? That'll work. Those Ushabti are still kind of in the low ground, huh? You fools. Alright, bats, get him. Okay, let's fire off some more cannons here. That should do something. These things are committed enough that the Mourngulls should rip through them real fast. All the rifles on this side. Focus, focus. Bats on this side. I guess also focus. The Ushabti have this. I'm a little... the Mourngulls have this. I'm a little disappointed, I have to say, on what a bad job the Mourngulls are doing of actually dealing damage there. Let's try to get a good old-fashioned ogre charge off on these ranged. And that will actually... Yeah, that's a lot of their ranged. Their remaining units of archers over here are definitely on the softer side. I'm relatively certain that those gunners just shouted out, "Eat fresh?"
Faster!
Yeah, so we're planning to obviously just refill a lot of these slots after the battle. I'm a little disappointed that I let the deck gunners on both sides take so much damage, but whatever, we're fine. All right, so y'all got those under control. You pretty much can just run forward at this point. Yeah, I think the battle's over, right? If we could get our units to stop throwing fits here, it would be even easier. Let's maybe just... Yeah, you guys. See, plenty of my units are like... There we go. They should be recovering since they are no longer being actively attacked.
Now! All set!
Okay, that's a big morale collapse on the enemy's part. Man-eaters, just get out of there.
Cut their chips!
Okay, I was gonna watch Aranes. I cut that guy's head off, but apparently we don't get to see that. So pretty minimal losses, but sadly the losses were on the most important units in the army because I did not build my lines correctly. I was trying to do it fast, you know. I should have the deck gunners go inside by at least one unit on each side. I'm just trying to get through this because I know we have another one coming. At this next battle, we don't lightning strike because this time we get what's left of the garrison. And I think that should be sufficient to break up the push. I totally forgot how extremely good Raised Dead is for your momentum. The armies that can do Raised Dead are just fucking terrifying. And I'm relatively confident we're going to come out on top with the Bretonnians. And then there's the issue of an awful lot of lizardmen on our shore, and I'm actually really worried about that. We don't know what the composition of those armies is yet, but if they are Saurus heavy, they could be a real problem. It's possible that once I'm no longer suffering so badly,
My fill of captains.
the lizardmen will decide that they don't actually want to do the fight.
Aranessa salt spite.
Okay, this obsidian lodestone is borderline useless. A luck stone, on the other hand, 7% physical resistance, actually does something of value. So let's finish the upgrades for the gunners, and is the next thing black powder overload? The extra ammunition's a big deal, for sure. These other unit categories we're not using too much, but we could be. It is such a bummer that the speed increase on this is just for bloated corpses. Yeah, let's take the bonus damage and ammunition for the siege
We're
crews.
ship shape.
Okay, so made a little bit of money there. We're getting at least one more deck gunner. And then, like, I'm honestly thinking about
This night.
buying the other two here. This is not a long-term composition, but they're pretty good. Or just some melee. It's probably just some melee. It's what we need. We need somebody to hold things down. I really wish there were more. Yeah, it's fine. All right, they're very expensive. Never mind. 2 sirens. Got it. How are you gonna kill a ghost with a horse? Let me ask you that.
Oh, praise the sea, Father!
Wait, why is she not allowed to attack here? She is. I just have to click on exactly the right pixels.
Get my hook!
All right, and they retreat. Not far enough away to get out of reinforcement range. Okay. This time I don't intend to press on after the battle, and so I think we are just going to take the auto-resolve and fall back to the city to heal up. Yeah. So 1,500 more gold plus 1,100 more gold. Got an opal amulet, which, okay, lets the carrier have a lot of damage resistance, roughly a third of the time.
We'll bury the spoils here.
Oh, the dead rose again, I guess. The unit of deck gunners came back full health. I was going to say, because we're probably dropping a unit intentionally after all this, so that I can Queen Bess. Interesting. The right became unavailable because... Oh, because anytime you fire any right, yeah, there's a universal right cooldown. Okay, well, we'll do that. All of her buildings became very damaged, which I didn't realize was going to happen. That's a lot of money to fix. So I think we're going to keep her sort of goofy army composition for the moment.
See, Father!
Yeah, no, I know. I was just looking at those. Len Emstrel. I mean, this would be a cool time to press outward and grab some more stuff. But I don't really want to. I just want to be not at war with you. They're not into it. Yeah, their empire's huge. Even if we were to try to wipe them out, it would take such a long time. I don't want to be in the ocean, like in this shit over here for all of forever. Where's Wendy? Is she doing the things we told her to do? No, she's been standing perfectly still. Isn't she supposed to be going to Lothern? Get over there. Okay. It's weird that it hasn't been asking us about her. Obviously, killing these Bretonnian agents doesn't really matter anymore because the Bretonnians are about to no longer exist. So I guess I'm going to bring you back over here. Alright, Aranessa's army will be back to fighting shape next turn and in full health the turn after. So... Alright, you want to negotiate peace even less than the Khemri do. This army's interesting. So its melee force is made up of about half Sauruses and half Skinks. These chameleon Skinks all have stalk. They're hard to see until they're close to you. But what's interesting about these units is that they are not the Sauruses with shields. So they're definitely a little bit easier to deal with in range. And then they got some dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are scary. This is not as bad as I was afraid of. I was worried it was going to be a lot of shielded heavy Saurus infantry. That's their faction leader, so I would assume his army is going to be fantastic. It'd be so cool if they could just fuck off and leave me alone. Alright, well, bit by bit we were able to purchase ourselves a new army. Yep. Nothing that can be done about that, certainly. Okay, and he's going to colonize it. That's not what I wanted. I wanted you to sack and leave. It's probably going to take Lashiek. Well, is what it is. We can probably drive them out of Kofar this turn. I think Aranessa's got the movement for that, and her army should be able to beat that army, I think. Especially given the amount of damage that they have sitting on them. They probably took a bunch of attrition on the ocean voyage, and then they didn't bother to try to find a place to heal it up. Pete's got to keep pushing. Unfortunately, there's no version of this where Pete comes back to play defense until at least the Wizard Caliph's Palace is gone. But yeah, this thing where we get suddenly attacked by forces from all over the place, just like every possible side of us, is definitely a real issue. Okay, missile damage up for everybody. What if more gun in your gun? Missile strength up for deck gunners is kind of interesting now that we have a little bit more reliance on that in the armies. Yeah, another ammo increase so soon doesn't really feel like the thing. Yeah, let's go maintained cannons. The mortars, Queen Bess, and the deck gunners all get some love there. Aranessa is definitely fast enough to do that. Mazdamundi is fast enough to retaliate, it looks like. Maybe. But maybe he'll choose not to. Wow, their unit's healed to full from fighting. Well, that's not how that works. Shoot, that's actually really awkward. Okay, they do have a hero in their army. Let's see if Len can soften that up. 45%. This guy's a spellcaster, though, and if we remove him, the army won't have access to magic. So it would be awfully nice. Of course, of course. Alright.
Admiral of the fleet.
Well, the Caliph's Palace has to fall.
Boarding hooks. Avast and draw your blades. Don't find us.
Yeah, old Pete Wakefield here has a critically important, like really, really necessary, but honestly very easy job. So, these last couple of spells. This is a huge stationary area where just like a portal opens and a bunch of magic kraken tentacles come through and do a bunch of damage, and yeah, it's cool. This one's also a big damage spell, but I like this one a little bit more. I think this is a little bit more fun. They're both really good. Well, let's get the one that's more piratey first. Then we'll get the one that's more sort of a general sea monster vibe. I definitely don't want that building. Honestly, this is probably fine. This can stay. We probably want to make sure we are pursuing upgrades. We're not going to be able to repair Aranessa's buildings. Okay, but it seems like they heal up over time. Quite a lot over time, actually. Do I think I would win this? I don't know. That's a tough one. If we lose, as long as we, draw enough blood, obviously, we can go again. 2 dinosaurs. Ugh. It's an ugly composition. If they hadn't gotten to heal as much off of that battle, I assume they just, they ate the captives. And it really restored a shit ton of health to them. Yeah. Things aren't going to get any better. Alright. I just realized how long the episode's been already. It doesn't feel like I've done all that much, but losing that battle took forever. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, we're going to have to make some decisions here about increased violence. If we can repel these lizard men, then we've probably solidified control of the area. But for real, it does feel like an awfully big if at this moment. So I guess come back next time to see whether I even try. And we'll see you then.